Tonight, we have someone who has recently experienced not the land of Yetis, but the land of diverse geography. He wanted to share some of his fun experiences that he had while in Nepal. Please join me in welcoming on stage Luc LeBlanc.
I assume you can hear. Oh, wait till we have a bit of light, but I work here at the university. I'm the curator of the Entomological Museum, and I teach course on insect identification in the College of Agriculture. And previous to moving to the United States, I'm Canadian originally, I lived 14 years in Africa and the Pacific Islands. Then I came and lived in Hawaii for another 13 years, then moved here 3 years ago. Great place, I don't regret it. And I made friends with Nepalese people since way back 15 years ago when I came to the United States. And through their contacts and help, we were able to organize a trip to go survey insects in Nepal last summer. So I'm going to present on that. When image will come, we'll start presenting. Okay. So, oh gee, I can't see very well, but I traveled with Bishnu Bandari, who's an entomologist based in Hawaii, and we traveled together to Nepal. And Sanjay Bista, the principal entomologist in the Ministry of Agriculture, hosted us, and he organized that we could go to 9 different agricultural stations throughout the country to survey these nasty insects that parasitize the fruits in Nepal and throughout the tropic. So we went all the way to Ramnagar. There's no tourists ever go there, only Nepalese people. Low elevation, rural village. That's where Bishnu grew up. So we spent a few days at his family at the village. For me, it was great. I've lived in villages in Africa and Papua New Guinea and other places. So for me, it was like going back home. And that's his parent, his grandfather. Can you guess how old this man is right there? He gave me this hat that I'm wearing here. His grandfather is 97 years old. His father and grandfather, vegetarians all their life to now, 97 years old and still in great shape. Then we went to different agricultural stations throughout the country to do some survey work, including Honeybee Development Center. You see all these miniature hives. They do a lot of research on pollinations in honeybees. And the Maize Research Program Station. And this is their College of Agriculture in Rampur. That's where all Nepalese students go to study agriculture. And we spent time with Bishnu and his classmates. Bishnu started at University of Hawaii in 2013, and he's still in the country. And these were some of his classmates he had not seen in years. So that was so great to go there. We were driving to all these different areas. The driving can be very long. The roads can be in really bad conditions and congested, and we were doing it during rainy season, so landslides regularly and so forth. It's exciting. Then that higher elevations, so those other areas is lower elevations. At higher elevations, you start seeing some mountains. We went to Bandipur Agriculture Station, and Bandipur, the town, it's an extremely ancient and historical town. Any town you go to in Nepal, it's full of temples and really ancient buildings. You go back like 2 millennia ago and you see things from that are that old. And Pokhara, it's the main, one of the main tourist towns, but we were not really with the tourists. We were on the agriculture research station. And again, we worked, this is Coffee Research Institute, and some of the agronomists we work with. It's really great working with Nepalese scientists. And from Pokhara, it's high enough in elevation, you can see the Himalayas from there. And then as we went to higher elevations, 6,000 feet and above, Lumbini Agriculture Station. There you see rainforest everywhere. Nepal still has extensive forested areas, and they're quite readily accessible, right next to the road. It's really amazing. Not that much logging because the land is so rugged, so there haven't been these extensive logging like in some other parts of Asia. And Lumbini is quite amazing. They grow, that's where they do research on tea, and the buildings are really amazing, all made of stone. It's amazing. And in Pokhara, so these were some of the survey work we did. And we also had some time off to enjoy Nepal. And in Pokhara, there's a lake, a big lake, and you can go on a boat and you go on an island with a very famous Hindu temples. And they say that if you receive the blessing from that temple, anything you wish, that's a reasonable wish, is likely to happen. So Vishnu and I and Raju, he was our driver. We rented his service in the car, and Raju is actually Vishnu's brother-in-law, so we were really in family. So we went for our blessings. And Pokhara is an amazing town. You come to Nepal, it's really well organized for visitors, and if you go with Nepalese friends, then you'll go away from tourist areas and you'll stay in the village and you'll go to extraordinary places. Ah, Lumbini. Lumbini is the birthplace of Lord Buddha. About 25 centuries ago, this Queen Maya Devi gave birth to this young prince who eventually got rid of all his material worries, and he started going around, and he became elevated, and he started Buddhism. So Lord Buddha was born in Lumbini. So I went there. I had to go there because I've been to Buddhist temples and monasteries in China, in Thailand, in Bangladesh, and in South Korea, but my paramount wish was one day to go to Lumbini, and that happened. What was really amazing is usually in Lumbini you see thousands of visitors, but this time Lumbini was empty because there were rumors of political demonstrations, so the bus tours, the tour bus that bring the tourists to see Lumbini, they canceled all the visits. So there was only Raju and I, and a handful of people here and there. Well, mostly Raju and I, us in the entire complex. So no distractions from loads of visitors and tourists. The level of energy was really high. So birthplace of Buddha, there's the Maya Devi temple, and inside is, this is a temple to protect archaeological excavation, and inside is the place where Buddha was believed to have born. And there's this very ancient pillar erected about minus 200 to 300 before Christ. that's been there since. And sacred tree next to the temple. Everybody goes to their prayers and offering. And there was an old Buddhist Lama right here next to the tree. And he gave me this one here. So Lumbini is amazing, full of temples all around the complex. It's immense complex. So please all consider going to Nepal. Thank you.